Hey everybody, how's it going? I had a little bit of downtime today, so I thought it would be a good time to come out here and do another Q&A video. You all seemed to like my previous Q&A videos, so I like to do these every once in a while and go through and answer some questions. So I went back to my previous Q&A video, which is about 4 months ago, and I went through all the videos since then and just gathered up some random questions. Also, before I get started on these comments, make sure to watch to the end of this video because I'm going to be giving out details of when I'm going to be announcing where I'm going on my big trip. As I'm filming this, I have 15 days before my trip begins, and I'm so excited for it. And some of these questions, I may be able to give some hints as to where I'm going. The first comment says, I had an idea for you. On the outside of your cabinet doors, if you wanted to do something different and also gain a feature, paint the non-trim section with a magnetic paint or a chalkboard paint. Then you'll be able to use that space to leave yourself messages or hang photos. It would also maximize the use of the space. And that is an awesome idea. I've been looking at paint. I want my cabinets to be white. If I do anything like that, I would want it to be a magnetic paint because I'm going to be collecting magnets that I can put on my fridge. So it'd be nice to be able to hang magnets up on my cabinets as well if I got some magnetic paint. However, I've not been able to find any white paint yet that's magnetic. So once I find it, I will definitely be doing that because that's an awesome idea. This next comment is referring to the issue that I had with my cabinet doors. Are you sure you didn't just have to switch the doors on the upper cabinets? You may have a slant in the roof. So I absolutely do have a slant in my roof. However, I did try to switch the cabinet doors and it wasn't looking good either. So I went to Missouri a couple of times and met up with Dakota, and we got my cabinets all built and got the cabinet doors built as well. And if you missed that video, let me show you what the cabinet doors look like. So I need to get them painted and everything, but here's what they're going to look like. And I had a couple of hinges, so I put them on here, but I still need to paint them and everything. But I am very happy with how these doors turned out. I cannot wait to get them painted and get them hung up on my cabinets. So this next one was on my last Q&A video. This one asks, was that your mom talking to you in the bloopers? If I can find a clip of that, I'll put that on here. Probably all they saw. I'm live, so... You should have... I wasn't going to say anything.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, you're not.
I'm answering questions.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Okay. Go get on there on your phone.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm go get your phone and...
Oh my God. Sorry, folks.
No, I'm not live. I'm just kidding. But that is going in my bloopers.
No, it's not.
But, yes, that was my mom talking to me in the bloopers. The next one asks, is Skooliepalooza your big trip in January? Skooliepalooza is not going to be my big trip this year. I really enjoyed Skooliepalooza last year, and I was thinking about going this year. However, this trip that I have planned starting on December 28th is going to be over a month long, possibly even 2 months long. So I'm not going to be in that area in Arizona to go to Skooliepalooza, unfortunately, this year. However, and this is probably going to be a little bit of a hint to you all, there is going to be a VanLife meetup in the area that I'm going to be in the time frame that I'm going to be there. So more than likely, I'll be going to that. The next one says, just curious, what was the temp in your van that caused the camera to overheat? So I had an issue with my camera overheating back in the summer whenever I was filming. I can't even remember what I was filming at that time. But I had my camera in my van and it was very hot, and I got an overheating warning on my camera and my camera shut off. It was over 100 degrees outside, and I believe it was, I had all my doors open so that I had airflow in here. It was probably in the upper 90s, lower 100s in the van when I got that error message on my camera. So not good at all. I'm definitely glad that we're in fall now and the temperatures are a lot cooler. The next one says, great video. You seem so close to your nieces and nephew. Very sweet. You'll have a piece of home while you're traveling. So this is referring to, I had my nieces and nephew paint their handprints on the inside of my cabinet doors. And yes, I am very close with my nieces and nephew. I don't have any kids of my own, so I am very, very close to them and wouldn't have it any other way. The next one is, referring to my nephew. As I watch, I notice that your nephew or little brother looks like a mini you. Twins. Didn't notice before. I have heard that quite a bit. I think it's the blonde hair and blue eyes that makes Cameron look so much like me. However, if Cameron had brown hair, he would be a spitting image of my brother when my brother was that age. The next one says, so you should make plans for next summer going to Alaska to look around and try salmon and Alaskan king crab. Alaska is absolutely on my list of places I want to visit. This coming up summer, I'm not 100% sure. I've kind of gone back and forth. There is a trip that I've always wanted to do in Europe. And so this summer I will either do that or I will do a trip to Alaska. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet on what I want to do. However, whichever one I don't do this year, I will absolutely be doing next summer. The next one says, hey Cory, I didn't know you was a tech guy. How did you learn this? So I believe this was referring to, I was getting my solar panels set up to charge my batteries. And I am not a technical person whatsoever. Everything that I learned off of YouTube. I did a lot of research on most of this build from YouTube, and that's where I got most of my knowledge from this. So I am very grateful to other people that have gone through and built out vans and buses and stuff, because all the information out there on YouTube is priceless. It helped me quite a bit. The next one says, rubber grommets, then run your wire through the grommet. So this one was referring to my solar panels. I have some wires that go through my roof. And yes, I absolutely put rubber grommets. I drilled a hole first and then put rubber grommets in there and then ran the wires through that just to protect everything. The next one was on my video where me and my dad went scuba diving in Lake Tenkiller here in Oklahoma. It says, you need to come to South Carolina and dive the Cooper River. Lots of nice fossilized shark teeth to be found. First of all, I need to get certified in scuba diving. I have not been certified yet. Second of all, I want to scuba dive in as many places as I possibly can. I absolutely love doing it. It's so much fun, and I'm definitely going to add this one to my list. I don't think I've included this in my video when I went to Virginia, but when we were there and on the beach, my sister-in-law found so many shark teeth. And it was so much fun just going up and down the beach looking for those. So it would make it so much more fun to be able to look for those under the water while I'm scuba diving. So I'm definitely going to add this to my list. The next one is also referring to my scuba diving trip. This one says, the dive was fascinating. The gauges you were holding, what were all those for? So there was a couple of things that I was holding on to off and on in that video. One was the gauges. It shows how deep you go. It shows the water temperature. It shows the direction you're going, the compass, which I get so confused down there, so that really doesn't do me any good. I'll be scuba diving and I'll come up out of the water and think I'm in one area and I'm in a completely different area. So when you're down below the water, you do get confused a little bit on the directions you're going. So a compass is helpful for some people. And then the other thing, I don't remember if I had it in my hand in the video or not, but there's a button that I can push to inflate the vest that I had on and deflate it. So when you're scuba diving and you go down and you get to the level that you want to be at, you can add a little bit of air to your vest and it'll keep you at that level. When I'm scuba diving, I feel like that's my emergency button. Like if I need to get up out of the water quick, that's my button. However, that could hurt me getting up out of the water that quick. So my dad always, when he notices I have that button in my hand, he makes me let go of it. The next one is also from the scuba diving trip. This one says, I would love to go scuba diving. I would need to take a course, and I've seen people on YouTube take a course, and it seems pretty straightforward. I am in two minds because it's such a scary thing to me, but I'd also love it. I was very scared the first time I went. And it took me a minute to breathe underwater because whenever I was floating above water and I put the regulator in my mouth and I started going under, it's not obviously not normal to breathe underwater. So I had to just sit there and relax and calm myself down and just breathe. But once I got over that and I started going down, and you really can't besides the gauge that you have and the water temperature, you really can't tell how deep you are. Sometimes your ears will pop as you get to certain depths, but it's a lot of fun. If you have any interest whatsoever in scuba diving, I strongly encourage you to do it. Even if it's scary to you, try it out. If you're really scared, go to a pool, go to a public pool, or if you have a friend that has a pool. My parents have a pool over at their house, and that's what we did before we went scuba diving. I threw all the scuba gear in there and got in the pool and swam around underwater in the pool with all the scuba gear on, just so that I could get a little bit used to it. So if you're interested in scuba diving and you're scared, I would strongly suggest going into a pool first and then go to a lake or the ocean, but definitely try it out because it is so much fun. Once you do it for the first time, you'll be hooked. Okay, so the next comment is referring to that same scuba diving video. However, it's referring to me breaking my GoPro. I thought that the GoPro could go a lot deeper than it actually could. It could only go down to 30 feet, and I went down to 60 feet. And when I came back up, it was shattered. But this comment says, did you have insurance? No, I did not. I still haven't replaced that GoPro. I plan on going this weekend and getting it replaced because I definitely want it for my trip coming up. And I'm definitely planning on looking into a protection plan this time. The next comment is referring to my solar panels, and it asks, how much do the solar panels cost? Let me look and see. I looked it up the other day. Let me see what they're at now. So the solar panels that I have are the 100 watt 12 volt flexible solar panels, and they are currently on the Renogy website. They're currently $139.99. Now it shows that they're on sale. I'm not sure how long that sale's going, but they also have the rigid solar panels that aren't flexible, and those are currently $89.99 with the sale that's going on. But they also have quite a few different options on their website. It's the Renogy website, so if you're interested in getting solar, I would say now is a good time because they're on sale. The next comment says, I had a Chevy Express van. I didn't build it out at all. What I found towards the end was a hammock was awesome to stretch from the back doors to behind the passenger door. If I did a van again, I would use the hammock as a place to hang out. And yes, that is an awesome idea. That's kind of a perfect space to put a hammock up. I don't have a hammock currently, but I do plan on getting one in the future, so I'm going to have to look into that and see how to set one up on my doors, because that seems like a perfect place for one. The next one says, what are the big things left? Shore power plug, diesel heater, backup cam. So I already have a backup camera. It's actually built into my rear view mirror. However, I don't have a diesel heater yet, and I don't have shore power. I was hoping to have shore power by now. I just haven't got around to it. I've been saving as much money as I possibly can for this trip, so that's kind of been pushed on the back burner until after my trip, but I do still plan on getting one. A diesel heater, I should have had it by now. I do plan on getting one, and winter is right around the corner. However, where I'm going, and here's another hint, it's going to be warmer than what winter is like in Oklahoma, so I think I'm going to wait. I don't necessarily need one right now. I also have my negative 20 degree sleeping bag that I've been using, and that keeps me plenty warm in this van. I actually, even when it's cold in the van and I'm in that sleeping bag, I get too hot. I have to get out of the sleeping bag for a little bit to cool off. So I'm definitely still planning on getting a diesel heater, just it's not a priority right now. Some of the big things that I need to get done before this trip are the cabinet doors. I need to finish my wall around my bed, which that could wait until after my trip, I guess. And I need a toilet. That is definitely something I need to get done before my trip. I've actually already started that video. That video will probably be up next week. But yes, I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm going to be discussing that in my next video. But yes, I need a toilet. Some kind of a toilet. situation in my van. The next comment says, what kind of insulation did you use? The insulation that I used was the 3M Thinsulate. It's insulation and it also helps control the sound. And from what I've experienced, it's done an awesome job. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description below to that particular insulation that I used, because there's two different kinds that look very similar. So I'll be sure to put the exact one that I used down in the description. The next comment was on the video where I went camping for a night down at the lake. It was actually the same area that I went scuba diving with my dad a couple months prior. This one says, how did you find such a peaceful place to camp? That's my idea of peaceful camping. So that particular place, like I just mentioned, I had been there before because me and my dad have been scuba diving there multiple times. However, another option that I use to find camping spots, especially when I'm out on the road, is iOverlander. It's an app that I've downloaded that shows where other people have parked for the night, and it gives reviews of whether they had a good experience or a bad experience and stuff like that. So that's been very valuable. The next comment says, Cory, be sure to have enough ventilation in your van when you run the heater. Carbon monoxide poisoning is not what you want. And you are absolutely right. I do not want to deal with that. I just mentioned the diesel heater. However, for this particular trip, just in case, I am going to be getting like one of those small Mr. Buddy propane heaters. And I will have ventilation. I have the fan in the back. And then I can crack these front windows to kind of get some air circulation through the van. And I'm also going to buy a carbon monoxide detector before I ever use that. So I'm definitely taking precautions to be safe. The next comment says, excited to learn where you are going. Hopefully where it's warm. So stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to let you all know when I'm announcing it. And yes, just like the hint that I gave before, it is definitely a warmer place than it is in Oklahoma during the winter. The next comment was on the video where I went through and discussed the things that I love about my van and the things that I regret about my van. And I had mentioned on my bench seat that I regretted not making the backrest a little bit higher. I didn't make it high because of the window. I wanted to have a good view out the window, but I think it would be more comfortable sitting there with a higher backrest. But this comment says, have you considered a removable backrest to the bench seat? One that slides into the existing to give you more height, but also removable so you can see out of the window. And that is an awesome idea. I haven't looked into it much yet. I haven't had a chance to. However, that is a great idea. If I could find a place to store the backrest, the tall backrest when I'm not using it, that would be perfect. I'm going to have to do a little bit of thinking on that, but I really like that idea. The next comment was on the video where I went camping for my birthday, and some people that stayed in that camping spot before me left trash, and I went around and picked the trash up. This comment says, nice of you to pick up what other disrespectful people left behind, but please use gloves next time. And when I was editing this video, I knew that I was going to get comments about that, and I got a few on YouTube and on my personal Facebook page of people telling me that I needed to use gloves. I have gloves in my van now that I will use in the future. However, on that trip, I was very careful with what I picked up because I didn't have gloves with me. Yes, that is kind of gross, but I was very careful with what I picked up and made sure I didn't pick anything up that was too bad. And this is the last comment that I have, and it says, so when do we find out the big reveal? Where are you traveling to next? And I know you all are probably wondering where I'm headed, because I've been talking about it for the past couple of months. So I am leaving on December 28th. The next video that comes out after that, I believe, is January 4th. I'll be announcing where I'm headed. I have never been on a trip for a month in my life. And this trip may possibly go into 2 months. So I am very, very excited for this. I cannot wait. Those of you that know me personally more than likely know where I'm going. However, for those of you that don't know where I'm going, I'm very curious where you all think I might be headed. So leave a comment down below this video and let me know your guess as to where I'm headed. So to recap some of the hints that I've given in this video, it's not Skooliepalooza. I'm not going to be in that area, and that happens in Arizona. So it's not that area. I'm not going to Florida. And it is warmer in the wintertime in this area that I'm going to than it is in Oklahoma. So maybe that'll help with some of your guesses. So the announcement of where I'm going will be on January 4th. Almost 12 months I've been thinking about this trip, and probably 6 months, 5 or 6 months, it's really been on my mind because that's whenever I made the decision that I was absolutely going. So I've been waiting quite a while for this trip, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait for December 28th to get here. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next Thursday.